There it is. Is that the audio? There it is. There it's on. Hi, everybody. How are you? Gosh, I had to run and slam some food down my throat because I was just on Stuttering John's show for almost 2 hours and 30 minutes. I don't know. I have to check with the Guinness people to see what my record for talking is. I'm nowhere near my limit. Hello, Carrie Peters. How are you? I'm getting closer and closer to my Mad Max hairdo. I'm getting really close. I feel good about it. Um, so I'll someday soon I'll be able to enact revenge during the gasoline wars. So yeah. Did I taste my food? Yes, I did. It was actually quite lovely. I made myself a peanut butter and honey sandwich. Is all I had time for, and I had some sliced pineapple. Chucked that down the old gullet, and then I have mate tea, which you can't see because of the yellows in the screen and the kind of how do you? Let's see. How do you? There we go. Kind of. It's just tea. My hair's holding up. Thank you guys for worrying about that. I feel like I'm easing into this show more than I normally would because I feel like it's a continuation. So let me reset and start right off the top. Hi, how are you? Welcome. Glad you could join us, especially if you're in the newfound group of lonely trolls scouring the internet, trying to find somewhere that you belong. After all of your wacko towns have been shut down, you're like, where do I go? What is the dream of for me? I'm walking in this internet wasteland, carrying a bag, thank you, carrying a bag full of nutty facts I picked up from Roseanne and her weird friend. And now I totally have nowhere to spend it. No one takes my coins in this strange market of humanity that I have found myself in. You can count on me coming to Australia. I'm going to spend a good deal of time there. I'm very excited about the entire idea that I could come down there and do a show. Not only doing stand-up, but if I could live stream from down there, there's lots of opportunities. I've always loved the idea, and I'm a big fan of spiders that are bigger than your ass. I've always said that, and you know that's true. I also want to go shark diving with great whites. So there's all that option. So is Trump delusional? Yes, he is. First of all, the story that we were discussing on Stuttering John's that was just breaking as we came in is this one, which is pretty lovely. Although it's Maggie, so I have to take it with a grain of salt. You know what I mean? This is the day that Mitch McConnell became president, right? McConnell is said to be pleased about the impeachment, believing it will be easier to purge Trump from the GOP. It won't! Like I said, the only way that Mitch McConnell is going to be able to use impeaching Trump as a way of purging him from the GOP is if he gets everybody in the caucus, except for the seditious 7 who probably won't, to vote for it, to vote for impeachment. Okay? So if he can't do that, it's a waste of time. And he can't. So good luck. Senator Mitch McConnell of Kentucky. That's funny. I'm of Kentucky too. Thank you, Benny Loco, reminding everyone to give us a thumbs up, like, and subscribe. Look, I'm going to be all professional today. That's my goal for today's show. Hi, like the show and the content? Why don't you try becoming a Patreon supporter? Patreon.com/HalSparks. You can even do it annually now, so it's not like a once-a-month kind of thing, which just creeps some people out. There's all kinds of special benefits, but most of them happen when I'm doing live shows, which won't be for a few months, but thanks for the support. And of course, Venmo is always an option, and YouTube Super Chats, stars on Facebook, Super Hearts on Periscope, and Twitch. The way you do it is you cheer. That's the way to do it. Just cheer with bits and cheering and bits. And use your bits to cheer. And I think that's it. And we've got a level 4 hype train already starting there. Look at that. I'm all business. Look at me. I feel good. Can't stop lying. You should be very proud of me. Senator Mitch McConnell of Kentucky, the Republican leader, not a Senate leader for long, has told associates, he has associates. What do you do for a living? I'm an associate of Mitch McConnell. What do you do? I associate with him. Mainly when we're together, we associate. We say, what's that? I feed him lettuce through a top of the jar. He believes President Trump committed impeachable offenses. Gee whiz. You think? And that he's pleased the Democrats are moving to impeach him, believing that it will make it easier to purge him from the party, according to people familiar with his thinking. We're all familiar with Mitch McConnell's thinking. It's his doing I have a problem with. You know what I'm saying? See where I went there with the... The House is voting on Wednesday to formally charge Mr. Trump with inciting violence against the country. Tomorrow's going to be lovely. I'm just saying. At the same time, Representative Kevin McCarthy of California, GOP leader, the guy who's whipped the caucus that started all this shit, the minority leader and one of Trump's most steadfast allies in Congress. He's asked thank you guys, has asked other Republicans, hype train level 4, whether he should call on Mr. Trump to resign. And I love how he's asked other Republicans whether, guys, what do you think? I could ask him to resign in the aftermath of the riot at the Capitol last week. Or maybe we could censure him, or if I could share something. If I share you out, there may be trolls. That happens, Benny Loco. I understand. Yes, share the show. That's the other thing I forgot. Thanks for reminding me. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell notifications. I don't know. All the stuff about subscribing. Subscribe on Twitch with Amazon Prime. It doesn't cost you a dime. Gleam. And what was the other? What else am I forgetting? Oh, yeah. Spread the show around. Let your friends know. All right. Look, I'm a professional streamer now. Now all I have to do is play video games 9 hours a day watch someone play video games all day while I eat chicken, watching them use my controller. That's how you make the big bucks. All right. While McCarthy said he is personally opposed to impeachment, who gives a shit? He and other party leaders have decided not to formally lobby Republicans to vote no. Ouch. And an aide to Mr. McCarthy said he was open to a measure censuring Mr. Trump for his... it's the censuring. Censuring. That's good. Does the censure with it come with him personally paying for the funeral expenses of the Sicknick family? Or any of the other 4 people who were killed? No? Then piss off. Mr. McCarthy reached out to a leading House Democrat to see if the chamber would be willing to pursue a censure vote, though Nancy Pelosi has ruled it out. Guys, a slap on the wrist. Think of him as a college football athlete with a lot of promise who just happens to have sexually assaulted someone. I mean, doesn't the team lose? We all lose if he has to actually face justice like a real human. Mm-hmm. And then blah, blah, blah. And then we'll see. Making their task more difficult, Mr. Trump has shown no trace of contrition, telling reporters on Tuesday that his remarks to supporters had been totally appropriate and that it was the specter of his impeachment that was causing tremendous anger. Okay, we'll get to that in a second. So let's just jump right in, shall we? Let's see, where is this? This is the first one. Okay, so press corps lines up all these nutcases. They're hanging around. These people think they're all first in line for the second inauguration, just for the record. And that's cool. They can hang around all they want. It's hysterical. I adore them for that very thing. But they're not gonna. There's nothing going on there. These people are all jammed in there. No masks. There's one mask. Everybody else just hang. Maybe I can get a glimpse of the back of his head. Perhaps I can. Perhaps I shall see the hem of my king's garment. Perhaps I could throw myself at his feet. Perhaps he's run out of toilet paper and my tongue will do the deed. Perhaps, O King, O Lord, O King, please allow me to stand in the cold in my Sunday best. I don't need a tour. Who needs to see the Capitol? I just need to view his backside and the backs of his hands, his tiny, tiny hands, as he waves and makes little gestures where he tries to remember the words he has to say by touching his fingertips to his thumb. Yeah. Perhaps, oh. And trolls, welcome. Good on you. Thanks for joining us today. This may be one of your last opportunities to actually see Trump, much less in a suit and tie, because we all know he's going to sort of devolve into a Howard Hughes tracksuit look after this, with his fingernails all grown out in knots, so they all grow in together like a big. So he has to have a wiper, but everybody gave up on that a long time ago. So he starts saving his poop in jars. Mm-hmm. That's close. That's coming.
So we're going to Texas. We're going to the southern border.
Great. Cool.
As you know, we've completed the wall. They may want
to... Yeah, the wall's done, guys. I don't know if you know this. There's been like 300 miles of it made in the last, 4 days. They had 500 miles. They were 220. Okay.
May want to expand it. We have the...
They may want to expand it. There's a little admission for you.
Underway. It's been tremendously successful, far beyond what anyone thought.
Yeah, it's almost as good at keeping people out as, I don't know, a pandemic.
We're stopping in large numbers the drugs coming into the country for many, many...
Are you?
Years and decades. We're stopping a lot of illegal immigration. Our numbers have been very good. There does seem to be a surge now because people are coming up. Some caravans are starting to form because...
Yeah, they have to be because Biden's going to take over. So I have to pretend... Yeah, the caravans. You guys have been hearing about the caravans, right? The caravans that the Q-nut cases all think that, were set up by Soros anyways, just to scare the American people. And yet other people are like, Trump did these just to scare people into oh, God.
Because they think there's going to be a lot in it for them if they're able to get through, but we're able to stop it. The wall is...
There's going to be a lot in it for them, like food and survival and that kind of stuff. You mean? Like a life for their children and, asylum seeker shit.
It's made a tremendous difference. I think some of you are coming with me, but the wall has made a tremendous difference.
Honest to God, it hasn't.
On the southern border.
Yes, this is today.
As far as this is concerned, we want no violence, never violence. We want absolutely no violence. And on the impeachment, it's really a...
Well, not anymore. We want no violence. We have to say no violence. Remind me to say, what do I have to say legally? I'll say, how about that? Let me say no violence so people will think I actually don't want it.
Really a continuation of the greatest witch hunt in the history of politics. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Why is this what does this have to do with Russia? Honest to God. This guy sharts and it's his third grade teacher's fault.
This impeachment is causing tremendous anger and you're doing it and it's really a terrible...
You're doing it? Yeah, you reporters, the ones that are in the pool that are going with me on the plane, but have to drive there, I take the helicopter. You stop what you're doing.
The thing that they're doing for Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer to continue on this path, I think it's causing tremendous danger to our country and it's causing tremendous anger.
Why would there be danger and anger? You're a great leader. Your people sniff your farts. They'll crawl through broken glass to be your professional wiper. Why can't you talk them out of the danger and anger? Why in the world would they believe there was something to be angry about?
I want no violence. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I want no violence. And meaning I legally have to say that. Hold on, I'm not watching this nonsense. So this is, and then, there he is. Then he lands.
I think that big tech is doing a horrible thing for our country and to our...
I think that big tech is doing a horrible thing for our country. You know what's doing a horrible thing for our country? you trying to have a press gaggle in front of a jet engine.
Country, and I believe it's going to be a catastrophic mistake for them. They're dividing and divisive, and
they're dividing and divisive, and they're divisible, and and we're indivisible, and they're divisible. And if you carry the two,
showing something that I've been predicting for a long time. I've been predicting it for a long time. People didn't.
What have you been predicting for? What is he, guys? Do you remember what he's been predicting for a long time?
But I think Big Tech has made a terrible mistake and very, very bad for our country, and that's leading others to do the same thing.
You mean they're setting an example to do something terrible for our country, so they're doing something terrible for our country. So it's bad when someone does terrible things to our country and sets an example for others to do terrible things. Well, that's progress.
And it causes a lot of problems and a lot of danger.
A lot of problems and a lot of danger. It's very dangerous to shut down Parler. You have to carry the messages of neo-Nazis and seditionists and terrorists. Otherwise, you're really just playing with fire. That's why Donald Trump has now bought the ISIS magazine and is now its publisher. You know, free speech.
They shouldn't be doing it, but there's always a counter move when they do that. I've never seen such anger.
There's always a counter move. I've never seen such anger. Really? Really? That's what they're really angry about, is the Twitter Parler thing? You've never seen such anger? Go review the tape from the 6th, asshole.
Right now, and that's a terrible thing. And you have to always avoid violence. And we have tremendous support. We have support, probably.
You have to avoid violence now that I'm in legal jeopardy.
Like nobody's ever seen before. Always have to avoid violence.
Always have to avoid violence. I said violence. How many times do I have to say avoid violence? Legally, to have it erase what I said that led to the violence. Do we have is there a ticker? I mean, honestly, guys, I need to help me out here. Come on, fellas. I need to mention it 11,780 times.
What is your role in what happened at the Capitol? What is your personal responsibility?
Well, if you read my speech, and many people have done it, and I've seen it both in the papers and in the media.
If you read my speech, read it. Read it. Read my speech. Technically speaking, I didn't tell them to kill anybody. I just said, that's an awfully nice baby. It'd be a shame if somebody chucked it out a window, but sometimes we don't want to do that. We don't ever want to do that. But sometimes you got to be tough, and some babies are difficult to argue with, and I don't have to tell you, but a lot of people have said, and not just me, but you, and you feel this way, and you know this, but we're going to walk down to that baby carriage, both of us together, and I'll be with you.
On television, it's been analyzed.
Wait, you've been watching television? Get the fuck out of here.
People thought that what I said was totally appropriate. And if you look at what other people have said, politicians at a high level, about the riots during the summer, the horrible riots in Portland and Seattle and various other...
What they say? What they say? Did anybody... Am I missing the part where Nancy Pelosi said, we're going to walk down to Starbucks and all these black-owned businesses and Target, and I'm going to walk down there with you, and you have to talk to these, this soul food restaurant, and you have to talk to them with strength. You can't go there with weakness.
Other places, that was a real problem, what they said. But they've analyzed my...
So this wasn't a real problem. Did you notice that little trickery? I mean, it's grotesque, but listen to that.
That was a real problem.
That was a real problem. What happened at the Capitol, that's not a real problem. 5 people are dead, including his supporters beat a cop to death.
But they've analyzed my speech and my words and my final...
They've analyzed my speech and my word. You mean your attorneys?
Paragraph, my final sentence, and everybody could see. He thought it was totally appropriate.
Everybody thought it was, totally appropriate. No, they didn't. No one thought that. all the humans on Earth were like, this asshole is trying to get somebody killed. And everybody that liked it was like, hey, this asshole's giving me permission to kill somebody. Hold on. And then, hold on, cancel, stop. Don't jump ahead on me, you. So then he goes and speaks at in front of the wall. Big. The wall's finished. Just so you know. Wall's finished. This part of the wall is finished. This is a great angle for if you're shooting. If you want to do some movie stuff, you're learning to be a real. This is the wall's finished. So this is where the windows go. We just got to put in the fixtures. This is the. I'm not drinking an energy drink. I'm drinking tea. Calm yourself. Oh, wow. We got a new patron. Thank you. 633. Oh, God. That's amazing. The pressure. All right, here we go. Let's hear, and let me guess. Lee Greenwood. Yeah, there it is. Son of a...
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Great honor to be here. We worked long and hard. Please sit down. We worked so long and so hard that this is only my second trip here, and the other one was to look at work other people have done. Worked long and hard to get this done. They said it couldn't be done, and we got it done.
It doesn't look done. They said it couldn't be done, especially this area. They said this part of the wall could never be built. And also this little sliver right here. They said it couldn't be done. And they were right. They said the wall couldn't be finished. So we said, fuck it. We just won't even try. We'll just stop here. Okay, you guys good? What if it's a corner? What, into Mexico?
Got it done. One of the largest infrastructure projects in the history of our country.
One of them. Yeah. Does it transport anyone anywhere? No. Is there do we have broadband? Do we have high-speed broadband or a smart grid? Did we get those new highways? Oh, no, yeah.
I'm honored to be here in the Rio Grande Valley.
In the Rio Grande Valley. Why does he's back to Foster Brooks right away? I'm Rio Grande. Down in the West Texas town of El Paso, I fell in good love with a Mexican girl.
Our country. We got it done. One of the largest infrastructure projects in the history of our country. I'm honored to
it's in the top 200 for sure.
Be here in the Rio Grande Valley.
The Rio Grande Valley.
The courageous men and women of Customs and Border Patrol. These people are incredible. They're really incredible.
Good word. Yeah, good word. Have you ever tried using the word incredible to describe somebody before? So that people, you don't want to use a word like that so that people start to think you just apply it to any crowd you're speaking in front of as sort of a kiss ass. You want to say why incredible along with just saying incredible. Let's see if he does it.
Incredible. I've gotten to know you very well over the last 4 years.
And you're incredible.
Many of you are friends from all of the work we did in designing the wall. We got it exactly as you wanted it. Everything.
Yeah, it looks great. Who asked for the gap? It had to be see-through. Stan, that's not what the fuck we were talking about, Stan. I thought he said it had to be see-through, and no, not that kind of. Look, what is this? That's the see-through part. It goes on like this for about 6 miles, but you can see through it. I mean,
everything, including your protective plate on top. I say, why did we put that? And they said we need it for extra protection. Climb plate.
Oh my God. That's why we hired him to be president, because he's a builder and he knows how to build things and he knows more about construction than anybody. And then everything, like I said, why do you need that part? It looks really cheap and crappy. Oh, that's for
plate. And we have everything you want. It's steel, it's concrete inside the steel, and then it's rebar, a lot of heavy rebar inside the concrete.
Oh, you mean like a barrier wall? By the way, have you guys had a chance, and I don't know if you have you guys had a chance to check out the break fires? The big concrete metal walls to stop the California wildfires and the tornado break walls. They're these ginormous concrete, they look like jacks, but you can put them in the ground. And they're expensive and they're hard to make, but, we're America. And we put those throughout the Midwest and all throughout California while Trump was president to stop the fire spread and to stop the, when in the tornado alleys, to break those things up because they are too heavy for the tornado to move. So it dissipates its power as it's traveling. And so kind of like when it hits a mountain and has to break apart. And, oh, wait, we didn't do that. We built this wall that he can barely recognize. He walked down. Why'd you put that up there? We worked long and hard on this, but I had to ask him why they put that there. Because,
concrete.
Yes, this is me being sarcastic. There are no break fires. We need them.
And it's as strong as
He did this instead.
you're going to get and strong as you can have, but we gave you 100% of what you wanted, so now you have no excuses. I didn't want you to have any excuses. And
just a douche. Look at this pit. Like, honest to God. Listen to this asshole like, it's not my fault if it doesn't work. Because he knows there's still going to be issues with illegal. They're going to tunnel underneath it. They're going to do all kinds of shit. That's just the problem. You're always going to have to deal with it. It's not going to be solved with a big metal barrier. It's a waste of money and a waste of time.
And it's as strong as you're going to get and strong as you can have, but we gave you 100% of what you wanted, so now you have no excuses. I didn't want you to have any excuses. And you said...
Oh, so, this is very seldom. Hold on one second. I have to turn my volume on my mic down a touch so it's more even. There we go, because I will talk loudly. And
records, and we can't let the next administration even think about taking it down, if you can believe that.
Why would you spend money to take it down? You just leave it. It's not even extra wall. It's like 12 miles of extra wall. And it's like a mile on either side of the ports of entry, the dozen ports.
I don't think that will happen. I think when you see what it does and how it's so important for our country, nobody's going to be touching it. And you are very proud of it, and you're proud of the work you did because we really designed it together.
Yeah, especially the part where it falls over and everybody was running. Yeah.
We're joined together to celebrate a great achievement, the extraordinarily successful building of the wall on the southern border.
Really? Maybe do your remarks and then speak extemporaneously.
Before we begin, I'd like to say that free speech is under...
You already began. Wait, free speech is what? Hold on. This will be good. Hold on.
The southern border. Before we begin, I'd like to say that free speech is under assault like never before.
Free speech is under assault like never before. Because private companies won't allow conservatives to foment a rebellion and use Twitter to hunt people and murder them. Oh, it's sad. Trump believes his idea of free speech is you should, in a crowded theater, you should be able to yell, everybody on the floor, I'm going to kill this motherfucker.
The 25th Amendment is of zero risk to me, but will come back to haunt Joe Biden and the Biden administration. As the expression goes, be careful what you wish for. The impeachment hoax.
Wait, this just a big gish gallop now? We went from free speech to the 25th?
Before we begin, I'd like to say that free speech is under assault like never before.
Yes, that's true. Never has there been an assault on free speech that was so devoid of an assault on free speech.
The 25th Amendment is of zero risk to me.
Yeah, that's because you surrounded yourself with sycophants. Enjoy your second impeachment, though.
But will come back to haunt Joe Biden and the Biden administration.
That's the idea that that Biden's stutter makes him look like he has dementia, and so they're going to use that to get rid of him to place Kamala in his. Yeah. Okay. But I will say this: he is saying the Biden administration. That's kind of a big deal. Did you notice that?
As the expression goes, be careful what you wish for.
Yeah. I wish you could go back in time. If only this Donald Trump had a time machine and he could go back and tell Donald Trump, you might not want to go down that escalator because, like, literally, that's the way to Shitsville. It's the worst 4 years of your life, and you're going to end up getting impeached twice. No one likes you. Divorce, which is the only upside. And, of course, they're going to find all your hidden money.
The impeachment hoax is a continuation of the greatest and most vicious witch hunt in the history of our country.
Why? It's not related at all. You could have avoided it simply by not lining your followers up on the Capitol lawn and firing a starter pistol like it was some sort of sedition marathon.
And is causing tremendous anger and division and pain, far greater than most people will ever understand.
Yeah, I won't understand it. Explain it to me then, master communicator. He has the best words. He has the best, guys. It's the best words. He has the best words. These are the best. They're not always in the right order, and he doesn't always say them right, but they're still the best in theory. And in the best words, listen to this sentence. Listen, just.
Witch hunt in the history of our country.
Yeah, yada, yada. We've heard that shit before, but listen to this.
And is causing tremendous anger and division and pain, far greater than most people will ever understand.
Well, if most people won't ever understand why impeaching you for this shit is causing anger, if most people, then clearly democracy is arguing for your impeachment. So what?
Which is very dangerous for the USA, especially at this very tender time.
Tender. We're always a little raw after an election. I know I always salve up. This tender time. Gather round. There comes
vision and pain, far greater than most people will ever understand, which is very dangerous.
Whoops, hold on. Hold on.
For the USA, especially at this very tender time.
What? Like, they wrote that in there for him. That's in, yeah. And he means Tinder. It's a very tender time.
And now I'd like to briefly address the events of last week.
Great. That's what I've been waiting for. Let's hear it. So I'm going to address what happened at the Capitol, where 5 people died and another one committed suicide because of what went on. Endless damage, people with zip ties hunting the Speaker of the House and the Vice President. People were coordinating on Parler, trying to find Mike Pence so they could blow his brains out. But, I'll get to that in a second. The first thing is that what's happening to Parler is terrible, and trying to use the 25th Amendment is just, yeah.
Millions of our citizens watched on Wednesday as a mob stormed the Capitol and trashed the halls of government. As I have consistently said throughout my administration, we believe in respecting America's history and traditions, not tearing them down.
You sent them there.
We believe in the rule of law.
By the way, this whole thing must be viewed through the idea of a drawback. Like this is he's a drawdown rather. He's just trying to this is him shoving toothpaste back in a tube.
Not in violence or rioting. Because of the pandemic. Horrible, horrible.
Well, then why are you for all the while the guys with long guns, the Second Amendment assholes, showing up and threatening people? Why is that okay?
Invisible enemy. And despite our tremendous success developing a vaccine years before it was thought evenly remotely possible.
Evenly wrote.
Nobody thought it was
Even the closed caption put evenly in there.
going to be possible. They said it would take 5 years. Sir, it will take 7 years. All of our scientists were saying.
Yeah, they were all saying that. Or they were all saying, "Oh, sir, it's going to take 7 years. 7 fat years and 7 lean years."
Advisors, it will take 7 years, 5 years, 10 years maybe.
Is that what they sounded like? Were they all clutching their pearls?
We did it just like I said we would, and we had it out years and years before they thought it was possible. And we're now delivering it to states, including your state, where your governor and governor.
What? Okay, why is he making the lizard? Is this the point where he pulls off his mask and we find out he's a lizard? Is that when this happened? Is that what's going to happen? I don't know if I can watch this. Although I had a pet lizard once. It might be more pleasant than its actual face.
And government are doing a terrific job in getting it administered in Texas. And Florida's doing great. Some of them are doing great. Some aren't doing as well. But they have all they can handle. And we get it to them as fast as they need it and even faster.
Like there is no situation where he changes what he's able to do. Like,
but they're calling it a medical miracle, and this has been a.
Weren't you addressing what happened last Wednesday? Right? Is this going to wrap back around to a lot of these people are just upset because they've had these lockdowns?
Difficult year and a very difficult election. The pandemic has made it a very, very difficult year for our country and virtually every country.
Oh, thank you, Daryl.
All over the world. Now is the time for our nation to heal, and it's time for peace and for calm, respect for law enforcement, and the great people within law enforcement. So
these folks are right here, you guys, Border Patrol, of course, Capitol officers, but he doesn't say, yeah. Like he just, what was it, 2 sentences?
Many are here, is the foundation of the MAGA agenda.
Really? Dude, you're name dropping your stupid slogan?
And we're a nation of law, and we're a nation of order. That is why we're here today to talk about what we must do to uphold the rule of law in America.
Okay, let's hear it. Let me guess. Keep Mexicans out.
And how we must continue to support our law enforcement heroes, which is exactly what you are. Do you feel like a hero? Yeah, I think you do, right?
Yeah, you feel like a hero. You look like a hero to me, whatever. You kind of look vaguely like the guy I let get his head caved in with a fire extinguisher when I sent my MAGA supporters up there, the MAGA movement. Yeah, they crushed another one, a cop's ribs. He was a bit of a hero. Yeah.
You do, and you are.
You are, you so are, you do.
I want to thank Customs and Border Patrol Commissioner Mark Morgan.
Understand, context, he hasn't said anything about the D.C. police like this. He didn't come out and go, we thank the people of, the D.C. police for, doing their best to keep order. They were clearly overrun. He hasn't congratulated Eugene Goodman. He hasn't said, we'll see. Does he mention Sicknick in this?
Who's been incredible. Where's Mark? Mark, stand up, Mark. Great job. Fantastic.
This is so last legs bullshit.
Chief Patrol Agent Brian Hastings. Brian.
Well, of course, there's only 12 or 15 people there. He can't draw a huge crowd.
Thank you very much. Great job. He's so happy with it. He said, sir, this really works. And most importantly,
It's like, this great wall. And I was like, okay, I'm going to mention you because you told me, you said sir for one, which is great for my stories. I love a sir story. And you said it really works. This is some dead energy shit, though, too.
The brave law enforcement
Thank you, Patty.
Officers who risk their lives every day to protect our families and our country.
You mean like the Capitol Police?
I also want to thank a tremendous gentleman, a friend of mine, Tom Holman. He's a great American patriot, and he was with us right from the beginning, right, Tom? You knew exactly. He said, we need a wall. When they were saying, no, no, we need drones, we need drones. I said, why? So you could watch the people pour into our country illegally? And I want to thank you very much.
It's a great joke. It really did, it wound him up at the rallies. It was good stuff, but just the wrong place for it. You know, maybe I'll put it later in the set.
Tom, what a professional job you've done. All of you people, incredible. Everyone here today is part of an incredible success story. This is a real success story.
Yeah, it totally is. I mean, you can tell, right? Like it's game changing.
When I took office, we inherited a broken, dysfunctional, and open border. Everybody was pouring in at will, working alongside the heroes in this.
No, they weren't. Immigration was down. It went up under you.
Great outdoor space looking at our wall. We reformed our immigration system and achieved the most secure southern border in
We didn't reform the immigration system.
U.S. history. It is
Please clap.
at a level that it's never been before. We took on the
That's because we have a pandemic.
cartels, the coyotes, and the special interests, and we restored the rule of law. For years, politicians ran for office promising to secure the border only to get elected and to do the absolute exact opposite. They even...
Really? So, by the way, Trump and Mitch McConnell both know that there is an immigration bill that's sitting on Mitch McConnell's desk that would pass with bipartisan support. Would you get a lot of the stuff that they want about immigration done? It's there. But they haven't passed it. He could. It would pass the House. It'd pass the Senate. It'd be one of the biggest bipartisan bills. It's just sitting there. But tell me again how you reformed our immigration system.
They even promised a wall, if you remember. About 10 years ago, they promised a wall, but they couldn't get it built. It wasn't easy getting it built.
No, it's like people didn't like my design with the big giant missing piece all they needed was to hear. What a weird shot.
Financed was tough. Getting it built was even tougher.
Dude, literally, they're not done. He's saying it's done. There's still equipment behind him. Look at the equipment. There's a huge gap. I don't understand what the hell he is standing in front of. You couldn't pick a better angle? This is the White House's angle. Literally. The White House, the only answer is they hate him. The only answer is that everybody in the White House just can't stand him right now. And even the White House press office is like, what do we want to show? He wants to show that the wall is done and that it's perfect and that he got it done and nobody else could get it done. Cool. Do we want to get closer so it's just wall behind it? No. We want some perspective, some machinery and that kind of stuff. Wouldn't the machinery show that it isn't done? Because why would the machinery... Shh. It's cool. People like it. It looks like we're still doing stuff. Like it's even more wall. We're going to double layer it. Line them. Wait, hold on. I think I got it. Look at this. Perfect. Long perspective. Kind of very Kubrickian. Got this. We'll put the Jeep with the dudes standing on it. Make them stand there the whole goddamn time. Big, big land digger, and then a giant gap, like the one between his ears. And then notice how it just stops. They hate him.
All the different chains of title and all the different things we had to go through. Very, very complex and very difficult, but we got it done. But they had it years ago. You remember that better than anybody, right? And they never got it done. They never, ever completed the
got it done
task. And then ultimately the money was sent back to the federal government. Spent, but no wall was built. But unlike those who came...
The money was sent back to... Listen to that. Then ultimately, the money was sent back to the federal government. And then what?
spent, but no wall was built. Ever completed the task. And then ultimately the money was sent back to the federal government. Spent, but no wall was built.
Oh God, how do you send back money you spent already? I don't. Oh God.
But unlike those who came before me, I kept my promises. And today we celebrate an extraordinary milestone, the completion of the promised 450 miles of border wall. 450 miles. Nobody realizes how big that is.
I think they think it's more than 449, less than 451. Somewhere in that ballpark.
I remember when I first came down about a year and a half ago, we're under construction, and I started walking. And I'm looking at the wall, and I'm walking and walking.
It's a great story. I'm riveted. Let's hear the end of it.
And I'm used to like a development project where you could walk a wall, 10 acres, 5 acres, 2 acres, 1 acre. Then I realized that's a long time. That's a big walk. A lot of the wall you have is incredibly natural. You have the mountains, you have the rivers, you have some very powerful water areas, you have some areas that are virtually impossible to get by. So we didn't need walls everywhere, but where we needed them, because it's been so successful that we've added.
Jesus Christ. Oh, God. This is the most pitiful. Like, I'm honest to God, I'm half expecting him to fall asleep on the podium. You have some natural wall. I do want credit for the natural wall. I am the mountains. I am the river. I am woman. Hear me roar. Murph, are you trying to get in here? He is. Murph. My cat is trying to get in. Hold on. What's it? Murph. Murph, what are you doing? Run away now. Try again. Try harder. The door was partially open, so he couldn't figure out why it didn't latch and move. So he's like... Then I run over. Yeah.
We've added.
That's my cat, Murphy, for those of you that don't know. The occasional super chat goes to make sure he doesn't go hungry. In the arms of an angel. Sorry.
Nearly 300 miles, and that's currently under construction. This was our original wish, to get these areas done where there was such trouble. And now we have it. It's either in construction or pre-construction, an additional 300 miles. In every region that we've built
Jesus Christ. Every time he diverts.
the wall, illegal crossings and drug smuggling have plummeted. Absolutely
Yeah. Because we're in a pandemic. Nobody's going anywhere.
plummeted. In the Rio Grande Valley, crossings have dropped nearly 80%. In
You think?
Yuma, Arizona, illegal entries have been slashed by 90%.
Since when? Let me guess. April?
Nationwide, ICE and Border Patrol have seized over 2 million pounds of fentanyl, heroin, meth, and other deadly narcotics, saving thousands and thousands of lives.
Uh-huh. And the reason he's going to say 2 million pounds is because they normally talk in tons and they normally talk in percentages, but that number is way down, so he doesn't want to bring it up.
We've arrested nearly 500,000 illegal aliens with criminal records, some with very serious criminal records.
That's because you give everybody who crosses the border a criminal record. Jesus Christ. Even asylum seekers under his zero tolerance policy are said to have broken the law. Therefore, you have a criminal record now. You didn't have it before I charged you with this, and you're seeking asylum, but you have a criminal record. So you, MS-13, what's really the difference? You lady and baby.
Of the type you don't want to know about, like murder.
I didn't want to know about it. Why would you do that to me? I didn't want to know about that.
Criminal records of the type you don't want to know about, like
No.
murder.
Oh.
We removed nearly 20,000.
Like murder? Wait, what do I want to not know about that's like murder? Is it murder? or is it like murder? It's stuff. It's it's murder adjacent.
20,000
Yeah.
gang
Oh my God, Sherry. Nice timing.
members from the United States, including 4,500 members of MS-13, probably.
So basically a third of them are MS-13. The rest of them, what?
The worst gang of them all.
Well, yeah, because you keep hyping them. They weren't, and now they're like, we're the ones that the president mentions. You better watch out. We're the killers. And then they take over territory. What do you have, an investment in MS-13? It's like he's trying to pump and dump their stock.
Through the landmark reforms we've put into place,
It's the Diet Coke of murder.
we have ended the immigration chaos and reestablished American sovereignty. Our most important reform was ending catch and release. Not easy to do. You're dealing with Congress. It's very, very difficult, which is the functional equivalent of open borders, but even worse. It's catch and release them. It means release into our country, not into another country. This policy was exploited by vicious criminal organizations who understood the laws better than our people understood them.
By the way, this is the thing he was going to say. Before I get started, I want to address what happened last week. We're still in that part of the speech.
For years, to spread misery and suffering and drugs all across the hemisphere.
That's weird. So you consider them competition.
Now, instead of catch and release, we have detain and remove. It's called detain and remove. Doesn't that sound
That's what it's called?
better? One of the biggest loopholes we closed was asylum fraud. Under the old broken system, if you merely requested asylum, you were released into the country.
But now we take your children and we put them in a box, and then we thumbscrew you into telling us that you didn't really want asylum, and then maybe we'll let you go.
Most ridiculous thing anyone's ever seen. And we
No. Well, besides your hair.
were taking in some people that you didn't want to have in your country. We instituted
What do you mean, brown people? Women? Children? What kind of people? Describe them. I mean, you didn't want to talk about the murder thing. That I get.
a series of historic policy changes to shut down asylum fraud, and that's what we did. This includes the groundbreaking agreement with Mexico known as the Migrant Protection Protocols, or MPP. Under this agreement, if an
Which one do you call it?
illegal alien requests asylum, they have to wait in Mexico until their case is heard. They used to wait here, and when they were waiting, they would say bye-bye, and they'd disappear somewhere into our country. And
Really? They would say bye-bye? So they speak English already, and kind of colloquially. That's interesting. They would disappear. Oh, so this is better because, there aren't like cartels or anything in Mexico that traffic in humans or anything. So that's good. That's probably better for them.
essentially would never
Asylum seekers, that's probably better, right?
find them again, would never see them again. This one measure alone ended
Why do a bunch of them live here? Why do a bunch of them, some of them have run for office?
a humanitarian crisis and saved countless lives, and especially, I have to say, lives from crime. I want to thank the
Saved lives from crime? Criminy, the best words.
great president of Mexico. He is a great gentleman, a friend of mine, and President
What's his name?
Obrador. He
Okay, there it is. They rolled it forward.
is a man who really knows what's
What?
happening, and he loves his country, and he also loves the United States. But I want to thank
Yeah, that's a description he's never given to anyone. Christ.
for his friendship and his professional working relationship. We actually
Which is over.
had 27,000 Mexican soldiers guarding our borders over the last 2 years. Nobody thought that was possible. And they made it very, very difficult, and
They guard their own border.
that's why the numbers were
Christ almighty.
able to plunge even during the construction of the wall. And by the way, one of the big elements of the wall that make it so successful is we can have far fewer people working now. They can be working on other things related to
Yeah, forget about the wall area. Just don't Don't mind the cartels with those big backhoes.
To crime and drug prevention and a lot of other elements they're working on, because we save massive numbers of people. And included here, we have the most sophisticated camera systems and most...
Oh, so you can watch people walk through the gap and down past the... Well, it's good. Glad you got them on camera.
Sophisticated electronic systems anywhere in the world.
Explain it to us. Please explain it to us. Please explain the sophisticated electronic systems. Please tell us all about the surveillance system from your layman's point of view. Please, please.
We implemented 3 historic agreements with the Northern Triangle. That's Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador. Under these critical asylum...
Oh, my God. They renamed them.
...cooperation agreements. The burden of illegal immigration is now shared all across the region. Now, when an illegal immigrant is arrested at our border, they can be sent to a neighboring country instead of into a U.S. community.
And we pay for it.
Prior to my getting here, countries wouldn't accept them. They would say, no, no, no. I said, well, you got to take them. First month.
And they would go, bye-bye. And I'd say, you have to take them. And they'd go, no, no, no. And I'd say, yeah, it's what happens. And they'd go, bye-bye.
I'll never forget. These gentlemen...
These great conversations.
Right here came to me. They said they won't take them back. They came. They may be murderers. They may be cartel heads. They may be some really vicious people. The countries didn't want them back. And I stopped all payments to those countries. I stopped everything going to those countries.
And tens of thousands of people died of hunger because you wanted to punish them because you didn't want to prosecute drug dealers that were dealing drugs in our country? What? Wait, we caught cartel heads and you wanted to release them back into their countries?
And after it was stopped for...
Where do you think they go in these countries? You don't think cartel guys can get... If we can get one of those assholes in our jails and they stay there, it's good.
About a month...
They were apparently dealing and bringing drugs into our country since they were fucking caught here.
Remember? After it was stopped for about a month, they called. They said, we'd love to have them back. And they never gave them as much money as they were getting, by the way, but they got some. It was amazing. And you people know better.
Lovely. You people.
Better than anyone. They wouldn't take them back. We'd have planes flying over, loaded up with people that we didn't want here. And they'd say, don't ever even think about landing that plane. And they'd take them by boat and they'd take them by bus and they wouldn't let them into their countries. And all of a sudden they say, welcome back. We love having you.
Is that what they said? Did they say bye-bye or no, no, no?
So it was a great thing. And now they do take them back. And the relationship with those countries, the Triangle, the relationship is a much better one than it was before. In addition to our agreements with Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador, we have systematically reformed the regulatory code to return asylum to its original legal meaning and purpose, not a free ticket for entry.
This is just a Stephen Miller production, by the way.
A recent comprehensive report by the Department of Homeland Security and Justice show how effective our reforms have been.
Yeah, my own people have released a report about how great my shit is working out.
And how disastrous their removal would be. It would be a disaster for our country. I know they're thinking about removing them. I hope they don't do that.
Yeah, it'd be terrible if they just went back to the standard we had under George H.W. Bush.
I hope they don't do that. It'll be an absolute travesty for our country. The report conclusively proves once and for all that aliens released at the border remain at large in the country and do not return home. They won't go home. And you've rarely...
Why won't they leave? Maybe because this becomes their home? Because they sought asylum here and want to participate in our democracy, so they eventually become... You mean they become citizens? Eek!
We find them. It's very tough to find them. So we have aliens released in our country, many of whom are serious criminals.
By the way, this is clearly a code to Roseanne and all of her followers. He's not talking about Mexican aliens. He's talking about aliens, okay? And criminal aliens. They're the worst kind. They're just like almond-eyed monsters that can control you in your sleep, manipulate you, probe you, And then when they, and then they've got, it turns out most of them have a lot of unpaid parking tickets. It's horrible.
And we've stopped that. Don't ever start that process again. By contrast, under our policies, 98% of aliens that remain in DHS custody are removed.
What's the standard for others? What was it under Obama? 96?
Simply put, if you enter the United States...
Let me guess. Of the people you catch crossing the border illegally, the vast majority are returned to Mexico? You think? Really? Really? That's how it works? I see.
United States illegally, you are apprehended and immediately, safely removed from our country. Without this core principle, there is no border, there is no law.
Oh my God, this is so dope.
There is no water. My administration...
Wait. Huh? There is no water? Look what the closed caption said.
No border. There is no law. There is no water. My administration...
There is no border, there is no law, there is no order. But because of how he said it, they think it's water.
Administration also instituted vital public health measures on the border.
By the way, these are the first times he's hearing of these things in the teleprompter. That's why he's doing that wiggle thing with his arm, like a kid telling a book report that his mom wrote for him that he didn't read even as he didn't read the book.
In response to the China virus, under Title 42 of the U.S. Code, illegal immigrants are being promptly removed to protect the health of border agents, other migrants, and local communities.
Are we hosing them down at least? I'd hate to think that the dogs would get COVID.
Communities and the public at large. Removing these protections would invite a public health catastrophe of epic proportions, as you probably know, in Tijuana, various parts of Mexico. The COVID, it's got about 24 names. I can call it from COVID to China virus. I can call it.
Dude. It's got about 20. It does not. It's COVID-19. That's how everybody knows it. That's what we discuss. It is a coronavirus. That's not its name. It originated, it's caused by SARS-CoV-2. Sudden acute respiratory syndrome, CoV-2.
I can call it the plague. I call it the China plague.
Yeah, we don't give a shit what you call it. Why does that... As a matter of fact, when you're trying to... This is not impressive when he's like, I have a bunch of names for it. When you're the pivot point for policy, maybe, just maybe, center on one, you ham-fisted moron.
A lot of different names.
Yeah, Trump virus works.
We always call it the invisible enemy, but the invisible enemy has been very tough on Mexico. And we have areas...
Why do we always call it the invisible enemy?
Along the border where we're in...
Because it's... are all diseases not invisible enemies?
Great shape, because right there, because of that we're in great shape, but on the other side in Mexico, they're suffering greatly.
So, luckily, we've got this wall because it's increasing the... What?
With the virus. It's been incredible what we've achieved. And we didn't do the wall because of COVID. We did the wall because of security and drugs and other things. But it turned out that in the middle of it all, along came this horrible plague. We inherited a dangerously lawless border. The people...
Oh, my God. This is the same shit that's been going on. There were no caravans. There are not caravans. This is all hyped bullshit.
People that work here are unbelievably brave. I've seen what they have to endure, what they have to go through. They're tough, they're strong, and they're great.
What do you think? They just got tough and strong because you showed up?
Great patriots, great Americans. We fixed it and we secured it. We empowered our wonderful ICE and Border Patrol to fulfill their oaths, and sworn officers. They became sworn officers of the law, and they love their job.
Did they?
They
Hold on.
became sworn patrol to fulfill their oath. We secured it. We empowered our wonderful ICE and Border Patrol to fulfill their oaths, and sworn officers. They became sworn officers of the law, and they love their job. It's a tough job, It's a nasty job. They're not paid what they should be paid, to be honest, but we got you up. We got you up. But these are incredibly talented people. They could probably do a lot better in terms of economics than they do here, but they love what they do and they love their country.
What?
We also put into place vital measures to protect American workers.
Look, that's all because he mispronounced. He got confused on oaths and sworn.
Fulfill their oaths and sworn.
To fulfill their sworn oaths, and he screwed up the words. That's what he's talking about. He flipped the words and then just wandered down a cul-de-sac to like oh, it's my favorite restaurant, word salad
Sworn
land.
Officers, they became sworn officers of the law, and they love their job. It's a tough job. It's a nasty job. They're not paid what
It's a dirty job, but somebody has to do
they
it.
should be paid, to be honest, but we got you up. We got you up. But these are incredibly talented people. They could probably do a lot better in terms of economics than they do here, but they love what they do and they love their
Jesus Christ. This is him. This is another thing of like what's in it for them at Arlington. This is another example that was true. What, that the thing he said with John Kelly in the graveyard where he's like looking around at the dead soldiers, what was in it for them? That's what this is. It's the same shit. It's like, why don't they do something else? This sucks. It's hot out here. It's like, and then somebody's like, well, they love doing it, sir. It's they think it's okay, I guess so. Can't tell them I think their job is stupid and that this is what poor people do with their lives. Interesting.
they love their country. We also put into place
As much as the president of Mexico, I don't think so. Is there a scale? Do you have some sort of? Can we have a graph at least when you're talking?
vital measures to protect American workers, keep out terrorists, and stop the abuse of our welfare system, where they'd come up, go in our welfare system, and live for years on American welfare without ever having a job.
Yeah, that's the worst thing about Mexican immigrants is they just don't have a work ethic. You know what I mean? Holy God.
We also have, and we had, but we have them all the time. We have terrorists.
We had and have had.
We also have, and we had, but we have them all the time. We have terrorists from the Middle East coming into our country through the southern border. That was before what you see right here.
Oh, I didn't realize they drove did they? Like, where you boys going? We are going to El Paso. Why are you driving a 747? I never learned how to land. All right, go on through.
Because it was easier to come into our country through the southern border than it was through airports or any other means. So they'd land in South America and they'd work their way up and they'd come into our country.
At what point? What is there a single situation where the hijackers didn't come in that way? The Fort Hood shooter did. I'm trying to think of a single Muslim extremist act of terrorism, Middle Eastern attack. Does anybody know any? Is there one? Yeah, it was the 747 caravan. It's just me and my friends have just those two airplanes behind me. Those are with me. Yeah. Hey,
and
guys.
These are not people from the countries that you would suspect. These are people from some very seriously dangerous places in the Middle East.
See, I would suspect those. See, if I was thinking like Middle Eastern terrorists were sneaking into our country by going across the southern border, I would suspect, listen to this shit.
And these are not people from the countries that you would suspect. These are people from some very seriously dangerous places in the Middle East.
Oh, all right. So, but yeah, you're telling me that Middle Eastern terrorists come from the destabilized and dangerous countries, and not, there's not a lot of Dubai billionaires sneaking across the southern border to blow shit up. What are you talking about? This is the dumbest.
And the numbers are far greater than anybody would understand.
You know that, and you know that, and Well, the reason I wouldn't understand the far greater number is because using the system we've always had, we've literally caught all of them.
Really far greater.
So much greater. Great, like greatly greater. So greater. Right.
Removing any of these measures would hamstring our workers, endanger our country, and cost taxpayers hundreds of billions of dollars a year. No matter our party, we should all agree on the need to protect our workers, our families, and our citizens of all backgrounds, no matter who they are.
Right. Then have your last act as president, right before you're impeached, to request that Mitch McConnell bring up for a vote the comprehensive immigration bill.
In particular of our border security.
Yes, was that a fart? Yeah, no, I throw those in when I'm bored with what he's saying because right. I only have a few. They're always the same ones. I'm sorry. I need more.
Measures are reversed. It will trigger a tidal wave of illegal immigration, a wave like you've never seen before. And I can tell you that already waves are starting to come up from 2,000 and 1,000 and 500 miles away. We see what's coming. And they're coming.
Yeah, they're definitely coming. I'm just saying they're definitely on their way. It's not like a manufactured threat that we're pretending exists to justify our actions. This is serious. Yeah.
And they're coming because they think that it's gravy train at the end. It's going to be a gravy train. Change the.
Well, do they expect to sit in the caboose? Because I don't think so.
The name from the caravans, which I think we came up with, to the gravy train, because that's what they're looking.
Jesus Christ. He's going to call the caravans gravy trains for the last 6 days of his fucking political life.
And 500 miles away. We see what's coming. And they're coming because they think that it's gravy train at the end. It's going to be a gravy train. Change the name from the caravans, which I think we came up with, to the gravy train, because that's what they're looking for the gravy.
They're looking for. Aren't we all?
Came up with, to the gravy train, because that's what they're looking for the gravy.
Looking for the gravy. Please let me in. I'm from Guatemala. I came all the way up here because of the gravy. It's like an ad for an American restaurant. You know, come for the asylum, stay for the gravy. Bloop. Stupid.
We came up with, to the gravy train, because that's what they're looking for the gravy.
Looking for the gravy. I'm not sharing my gravy with these people, obviously. But they're going, Martha, they gonna come up here and steal our gravy. They am not. Look here. We ain't got enough gravy to go around, I told you. Well, go open up a can of cream of mushroom soup and don't add all the water. Just add half water, add a quarter water, and a quarter buttermilk. That'll be gravy. That's fine. That'll do. I mean, it's for company. Who cares? They coming for the gravy. They coming for the gravy. Staying for America. They're coming for the gravy.
This will be an ungravy train, because that's what they're looking for the gravy.
I'm looking for the gravy. Download Fartmaster 3000. Thank you for that. I needed somebody to type that and ask me about it. Thank you for finally saying something just dumb enough to not be boring.
We came up with, to the gravy train, because that's what they're looking for the gravy. This will be an unmitigated.
Oh, God. What an asshole.
Calamity for national security.
It'll be a gravy calamity. You're in gravy. I said, is it gravy danger? And you said, is there another kind? You want me on that wall. You need me.
Public safety and public health. It would destroy millions and millions of jobs and claim thousands of innocent lives. The policies I put into place are uniformly and strongly supported by the men and women of ICE and Border Patrol. We worked on them
Well, yeah. I mean, these people love gravy.
together, just like we did on the wall. We worked on the
Yeah. We worked on the wall together. I was like, why do you need that? And they're like, we need it because of this. Really? Do you really need that? Yeah, we do. That's if we're going to have it, that's what we would need. Why do you need that? It doesn't look very good. Well, it's not about how it looks, it's about its function. Really? Do you need that? That's the meetings. That's all the meetings.
worked on the policies together because nobody knows this whole world better. Wall, we worked on the policies together because nobody knows this whole world better than the incredible people right in front of me. To terminate those policies,
Just ass kissing on his way out the door. Don't hate me. Please don't hate me for getting one of your fellow police officers killed.
is knowingly to put America in really serious danger and to override the great career experts that have worked so hard, those from DHS. At this very moment, smugglers
But literally, this is just about him because he thinks Biden's going to dismantle the extra 12 miles of wall.
and coyotes are
Wait, you're going to spend... So Biden's going to spend money to tear down this chunk of wall, have it removed, besides the reason that it'll fall on people on our side if they're like, you have a guard, these guys riding the perimeter, protecting them, and then thunk, this shit falls on them.
preparing to surge the border if our policies are loosened or removed. I mean, they're literally waiting.
For gravy. They're sitting there, they're over there, they got mashed potatoes and turkey, and it's dry. One of these days, they're going to upend his policies.
Big groups of people, some of them very unsavory, I might add.
Some of them? Well, then, so we can let in the people who are savory?
This is an entirely preventable
Is gravy. Maybe they're unsavory. That's why they need the gravy. Sweet gravy is gross. I'm unsavory. Can someone pour gravy on me? It's the only thing that will save me. Fucking welfare. Gloop, gloop.
preventable tragedy. It's waiting to happen. The safety of our nation must come before politics. We have many disagreements in the country, but we should all agree the urgent need to secure our borders, protect our homeland, and allow law enforcement to fulfill its mission.
Seriously, I don't know what the hell this speech is about.
Without political interference.
He just this is his only legacy. He wants this shit to stay up. That's what he thinks. And he thinks it's when it falls over, they're not going to put it back up because that's what it is.
Border Patrol agents swore a sacred oath to uphold the law and no
Yes, so did Officer Sicknick, you bastard.
political appointee should ever order them to violate that oath. These are real experts. They really get it. And I'll tell you who else
No one's going to ask them to violate that oath. They're going to keep that oath.
gets it. The Hispanic population of our country gets it. Because not only did I win Texas in historic numbers,
Thank you, ES&S voting machines. Clean.
but I won border towns, which are largely Hispanic. And people were amazed to see that. And the numbers, they say, were Governor of Texas called. Greg, great guy, great governor called. He said,
Greg, great guy. I never. He ran.
you had numbers that nobody's had since Reconstruction. Reconstruction means Civil War. And
Oh yeah, all the Mexican immigrants that voted during the Reconstruction.
largely
What?
Hispanic. They understand it better than anybody, and they want law enforcement to help them live safe lives. The laws that Congress passed must be upheld. To the men and women
We're talking about the Paul Ryans of the Hispanic community. The people who like, I got mine, and then you pull the ladder up behind them.
of ICE, Customs, and Border Protection, and all across DHS, law enforcement in general, you have earned the everlasting gratitude of our nation. You have no idea how much Our nation loves you and respects you. I don't think you do have an idea, but it's true. I only hope and pray that your
Why not?
voice will be heard, honored, heeded, and respected long into the future. God bless you.
I only hope that you will continue to sell my line of bullshit.
God bless law enforcement, and God bless America. Thank you very much. Thank you. Great job.
Oh, really? YMCA? What the hell? What? How do you end? Did he do the walk around hand job thing? Hold on. Hold the phone. I need a longer version of this. What the hell? Okay. Trump, what? Alamo? Whoops. Jesus. Quit it. Don't play. Quit it. It's a stupid leadoff music. Yeah, there he goes. So.
America, thank you very much. Thank you. Great job.
Yeah, walk, clap, 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 clap. Really? Point. Hold on. Wait 1 second. Backing it up so you guys can see. Hold on. Look at this ridiculousness. I'm not playing the. Oh my god, and oh my gosh. And they don't like what I was doing, and you want to. And I don't bite, and boo boo. Thank you very much. Shut up. Okay, bye bye. Oh, my hand job on my face. And clap, 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 point. Clap, clap, point. Hand job. Right in my mouth. Thank you. Hand job. Heil Hitler. Hand job. Okay, done. Clap, clap. Hand job. Bye. Bye, everybody. Point. Thumb up your butt. Thumb up. Heil Hitler. Thumb. Point. Thumb. Thumb. Point. Hump. Which way do I go? Is my car over here? Where's the ticket booth for the fair? Hide me behind the camo so I cannot be assassinated. Bye. Done. Get me out of here. Click. And we're done. That was a waste of goddamn time. Look at this dude just standing there. Good for him. Man's just being a bulletproof vest. Hey, buddy, can you clear? Thanks very much. We like you being there, but, yeah. Good God. Ugh. That's magic. Hold on. FBI briefing. Let's see if the... You do this real quick.
Noon.
I want to hear what they have to say.
Assistant Director in charge of the Washington Field Office of the FBI. And I'm here to provide a quick update on the FBI's activities since the violence and destruction at the Capitol last week.
By the way, that is not a DC accent. I'm just saying.
The FBI is quite familiar with large-scale, complex, and fast-moving investigations. We are up to the challenge. As Director Wray says, the FBI does not do easy. To be
Did he say that while he's drinking at a bar and some saucy local hoodie girl comes over? Hey guys, what's happening? Excuse me, ladies. We're the FBI. We don't do easy. You son of a bitch.
To be clear, the brutality the American people watched with shock and disbelief on the 6th will not be tolerated by the FBI. The men
No, it won't.
and women of the FBI will leave no stone unturned in this
Well, that's good, because that's where these people live.
investigation. Since these events, the FBI has worked hand in hand with the United States Attorney's Office and our law enforcement partners
Thank you, Loretta.
here in D.C. and across the country to arrest and charge multiple individuals who took part in the destruction. In 6 days, we have opened over 160 case files, and that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, the iceberg would be all the information from Parler.
The significance of the
Sort of like the Kraken, but real.
This investigation is not lost on us. This is a 24/7, full-bore, extensive operation into what happened that day.
Okay, because we just saw a 24/7 full bore give a speech at the Alamo near the wall. So
We cannot do our job without the help of the American people. Since our
we've all been helping as best we can.
call for tips, videos, and pictures, we have received more than 100,000 pieces of digital media, which is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it's great stuff. I mean, it really captures the moment.
And we are scouring every one for investigative and intelligence leads.
Scouring. Boston.
We continue to ask for more. If you have information, contact 1-800-CALL-FBI or submit photos and videos to fbi.gov/US Capitol, and that's Capitol with an O.
Oh my God, the fact that he has to say that.
I want to stress that the FBI has a long memory and a broad reach.
Yeah.
Agents and our partners are on the streets
Sleep tight.
investigating leads not only here in the
Whoops.
D.C. area, but also across the country through the FBI's 56
Hype train.
field offices. So even, like I've said before, even if you've left D.C., agents from our local field offices will be knocking on your door. If we find out that you are
Who can that be knocking at my door? Go away. Don't come round here no more. Can't you see that I'm a MAGA knight?
part of the criminal activity at the Capitol. But before we do this, this is your opportunity to come forward, as several individuals who were involved in Wednesday's riots have done, to volunteer about their participation.
Come on in. Volunteer about your participation.
In the weeks leading up to this January 6th rally, the FBI worked internally with every FBI field office to ensure we were looking for any intelligence that may have developed about potential violence during the rally on January 6th. We developed some intelligence that a number of individuals were planning to travel to the D.C. area with intentions to cause violence.
Really? You think? Where did you hear something like that?
We immediately shared that information, and action was taken, as demonstrated by the arrest of Enrique Tarrio by the Metropolitan Police Department the night before the rally. Other individuals were identified in other parts of the country, and the travel subsequently disrupted. The FBI receives enormous amounts of information and intelligence, and our job is to determine the credibility and viability of it under the laws and policies that govern FBI investigations. We have to separate the aspirational from the intentional and determine which of the individuals saying despicable things on the internet are just practicing keyboard bravado or they actually have the intent to do harm.
Keyboard bravado.
In the latter,
By the way, Keyboard Bravado is my solo piano album that's coming out very soon.
we work diligently to identify them and prevent them from doing so. As offensive as a statement can be, the FBI cannot open an investigation without a threat of violence or alleged criminal activity.
Right. Can I refer you to the president's speech?
However, when that language does turn to a call of violence or criminal activity, the FBI is able to undertake investigative action. And in this case, we had no indication information was linked to any specific person, but this is a matter of an online discussion. This information was immediately disseminated through a written product and briefed through our command post operations to all levels of law enforcement. Part and parcel of our investigation into violent actors is the fact that we continue to gather intelligence that will aid in our ability to disrupt possible future violent activity.
Does it? I know you're trying to gain intelligence. Does it help when a big sap on intelligence leaves? In the case of Trump leaving next Tuesday, would that help you immensely? Like somebody who sucks the air, that lowers the IQ of everyone in the room just by entering.
Suffice to say, we are leveraging our relationships with federal, state, and local law enforcement partners, using our tools at our disposal to find and bring everyone involved in last week's criminal activity to justice.
Bring them to
I'm now going to
justice.
turn over to Acting U.S. Attorney Michael Sherman.
Right.
All right, thank you, Steve. I I think I
Thanks,
mentioned
Steve.
this before a few days ago that, just to begin, I think the scope and scale of this investigation in these cases are really unprecedented, not only in FBI history, but probably
Yeah, bruh.
DOJ history, in which
Totally.
essentially the Capitol grounds outside and inside are essentially a crime scene. And a scale in which we have literally thousands of potential witnesses, and a scenario in which we're going to have, I believe, hundreds of criminal cases, both
Uh-huh. Oh, thank you, Marion.
filed with our
Look
local
at that. Bless you.
courts, the Superior Court, and through the federal court system. So just to frame things, the enormity of this investigation is going to take a lot of work and a lot of effort, and this is not going to be solved overnight. It's not going to be solved within the coming weeks.
Really? Most crimes? Hundreds. There obviously thousands of, of acts of crime and terror and villainy, but they're going to go after the ones they can prosecute. More than likely, I'd say shy of 600.
The coming weeks. It's not going to be solved within the coming months. This is going to be a long-term investigation, and rest assured, the Bureau, the Department of Justice, all the U.S. attorneys across the United States that are assisting in these investigations, everyone is in for the long haul. So,
Do I trust this guy? Yeah. These guys are going to do their job.
that being said, let's turn to the numbers that Steve referenced. And the numbers are going to geometrically increase. So, as we sit here now, literally days after this event happened, we have already opened more than 170 subject files, meaning these individuals have been identified as potential persons that committed crimes on the Capitol grounds, inside and outside. So,
And each of them had 2 friends with them. And we're going to go talk to their friends first. See how that works?
those 170 cases that
That's where they're talking by exponential growth.
have already been opened, and I anticipate that's going to grow to the hundreds in the next coming weeks. We've already charged over 70 cases. And again, that number, I suspect, is going to grow into the hundreds.
Yeah, it is.
So what are the types of cases we initially charged? And I think there's some misconceptions, and I want to clarify some of those misconceptions, because
All
given
right.
the enormity of the actors we saw both inside and outside the Capitol, the range of criminal conduct is really, I think, again, unmatched in any type of scenario that we've seen the FBI or the DOJ. We're looking at everything from simple trespass to theft of mail to theft of digital
Yeah.
devices within inside the Capitol to a
Yeah, they stole some laptops. All the QAnon people, seriously, we watched Roseanne talk about some of this shit. They believe that this whole thing, the death of Ashley Babbitt, the cop being beat to death, the other injured, the woman trampled to death, the people who died because of medical emergencies because people couldn't get to them in time. All those people died just so that Q could steal some laptops from Congress.
to assault on local officers, federal officers, both outside and inside the Capitol, to the theft of potential national security information or national defense information, to felony murder, and even civil rights excessive force investigations. So just the gamut of cases and criminal conduct we're looking at is really mind-blowing. And that has really put an enormous amount of work on the plate of the FBI and field.
Which is great. So all you serial killers out there, you're going to get like probably a 3 to 6 month break, I guess, to get a head start on the investigations that are tracking you right now, because Trump's followers bought you some time.
And field office throughout the entire United States. So let's look at those initial cases. And again, I want to clarify some misconceptions. When criminal conduct occurs, we try to obviously charge people as soon as possible. So the way, looking just at the federal system, we'll try to do that via criminal complaint. So when these actors left the Capitol, these individuals, these defendants, obviously the impetus, the marching orders by federal law enforcement was to find, fix, and charge these individuals as fast as possible. So the prosecutors from the D.C. U.S. Attorney's Office, we looked for the most simple charge we could file as quick as possible. So therefore, the initial charges filed in these cases, a lot of them were misdemeanors. They were trespass cases. However, those cases were opened on those initial charges. We also had several firearms charges. We also had several felony charges that were opened with assault and battery, illegal.
I bet he's like, these people are out already. They did this shit and they're out already. They're out already. That's because they have to investigate the reasoning behind what they did to prove that the deeper crime. So these folks, and they feel like they can hang on to them until they build a case. Hi. Huh? Okay, great. Well, all right. I'll go short. I'm almost done because I was on long today, so I got about 10 minutes. Okay, cool. So by the time he's down here, and we have to turn the power off, maybe.
Yeah, but I still want your opinion.
Oh, great. Okay, yes. All right. Give me a minute. Okay, thank you.
Illegal.
We have to turn. A light is getting installed in our house, so we're gonna have to turn the power off. So I have to wrap it up fairly soon today. But there we go.
Felonious possession of weapons.
We're good though.
However, I want to clarify a misconception. This is only the beginning. So after these criminal charges are filed via criminal complaints, that
All the people who are in like an airport bar right now holding a drink, like, they let me go on a misdemeanor charge. And this comes on the news. Dude, I got to catch a flight. You can't. Oh, yeah, right. Is there a bus?
that allows law enforcement across the United States to arrest people from Dallas to Arkansas to Nashville to Cleveland. To Jacksonville. That's what's happened over the past several days. It's really quite incredible. Now, after those charges are filed, then we have the ability to then indict these individuals on more significant charges, and that's exactly what has happened. For example, yesterday, again, only days after this event happened, we had the grand jury in the District of Columbia up. It was booked throughout the entire day, and for several hour upon hour, prosecutors in our office presented felony cases, significant felony cases related to civil disorder, related to the possession of destructive devices, related to the possession of semi-automatic weapons that are illegal to possess in the district. So again, I just want to clarify that
Yeah, so those folks were being held, so they processed them quickly. The guys with arms, the guy with the Molotov cocktails, that shit. Those guys were held and processed there. Some people went back and, for, trespassing, B&E, that kind of stuff. So they were released on their own recognizances because there's no way to grab all these fuckers.
That the initial charges we're filing, some of these misdemeanors, these are only the beginning. This is not the end. So what are we looking at downstream here? So in terms of what we're looking at is the initial charges everyone's familiar with, the zip tie guys, the Munchels, and the Brocks that were arrested on the House floor with zip ties rifling through the House floor. People are familiar with online. They see the Barnetts and Johnsons who were literally rifling through Pelosi's office and stealing items, stealing materials, mail, and sometimes even personal mementos. So those are the cases the public's familiar with. They're familiar with those cases because of social media. But what the public isn't familiar with is that the FBI, working with the U.S. Attorney's offices across the country, and the crux of those being in D.C., we're looking at significant felony cases tied to sedition and conspiracy.
Oh, that's good. Let that kind of sink in there for a second. Sedition and felony conspiracy. Ooh, that's I'm just gonna let that roll around on the tongue for a little while. Oh.
Just yesterday, our office organized a strike force of very senior national security prosecutors and public corruption prosecutors. Their only marching orders from me are to build seditious and conspiracy charges related to the most heinous acts that occurred in the Capitol. And these are significant charges that have felonies with prison terms of up to 20 years. In addition to that, we're
each. So you dragged the cop out of the building, you beat him with a flagpole that you stole, and you charged in afterwards. So you left the scene of a crime and you moved in the directions of the furtherance of a crime. You participated in the crowd that crushed into the building, so you are responsible for physical injury to another police officer. And then you probably stole shit, ran away, leaving the scene of a crime, fleeing the police, and then God knows what else they talked about. So the 20 years for trying to or successfully beating a cop to death, that's beyond. That person will get life. But the people who helped him or were part of that, didn't do the deal the death blow, but were a participant in that, also committed like 6 other crimes with 6 other, sentencing recommendations that are in the tens, if not 20s of years.
That we're looking in
Dozens of years.
taking a priority with cases in which weapons were involved and cases in which destructive devices were involved. As people know through news reports, there were pipe bombs found outside the Capitol. The ATF is working on that. Metro Police is working on that. FBI is working on that to find that individual or individuals who planted those devices. So in addition to...
I want to know about flagpole guy. The guy who beat the cop with the flag. Who is that dude? That dude needs to be rounded up. That dude has a huge beard and long hair. I guarantee he's cut it off. The next picture we see of that dude, he's going to have his head shaved.
Just those road cases we're looking at, we're going to focus on the most significant charges as a deterrent, because regardless of if it was just a trespass in the Capitol or if someone planted a pipe bomb, you will be charged and you will be found. In addition to that, we've also focused on an emphasis on assaults and batteries on police.
So thousands of misdemeanor charges. Welcome to having a record, kids. And then the rest of them,
officers, both federal officers and local MPD officers that were assaulted. And as the days go on, there's going to be more social media, and people will recognize that in some instances, MPD and Capitol Police were in open-handed combat with some of these persons inside the Capitol, where tear gas was used on the Capitol Police and federal officers, and they were also used against some of these rioters. So the picture is going to build. I think there's a lot of misconceptions about what happened within the Capitol, and it's going to come into...
Yeah, a lot of the seditionist terrorists had bear spray with them, which is sort of another form of pepper spray or tear gas.
Laser focus, I think, over the next weeks and days, and I think people are...
It's a redneck pepper spray.
Going to be shocked with some of the egregious contact that happened within the Capitol. The third area of emphasis that our office is also focusing on is we set up a strike force to focus on assaults on the media. Some people aren't familiar that some of those rioters specifically targeted members of the media and assaulted them. So we have assigned specific prosecutors in our office to focus on those cases as well. And I'm naming all these different strike forces to just emphasize, regardless of who the victim was, regardless of who the perpetrator was, we're treating all of these cases equally. Thank you very much.
Cool. I mean, the rest of that we don't necessarily need to see, and I've got to sign off because the power's going to go out for a while. And I've been on since, 12:30 with John, so it's a full day. Holy smokes. But I think we all need to, I think what we can finish today on is a deep breath and the joy of experiencing the last BS Trump gathering, and how dull and how blathering and apologetic and weak-kneed it was, and how he said Biden administration a couple of times. He was concerned they're going to tear down his wall. So, this whole thing where he thinks he's going to, what if he starts a war and blah, 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 blah. He's going to get impeached. They're probably going to vote to remove him, after he's already left. Crap like that. Almost human, what's happening? Is that Rob? Is Robert in there? What's that, man? You there? No. So, not only is Trump not going to start a war and blow things up and launch a strike on Iran or any of that nonsense, there's going to be no... The Qs all think he signed the Insurrection Act. He didn't. There's no martial law. There's not going to be a blackout. Like I say, as I'm going to turn out the power in my own house so I can change a light. It's the blackout. It's coming. It's just what Roseanne warned us about. Yeah, I'm glad you did too, Kristen. Welcome. And thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate it. My headphones are dying while I'm talking to you. So I'm going to sign off, power my stuff down. I will be on at the regular time tomorrow at 3. I'm very excited about tomorrow. I might come on earlier depending on when they vote. So if the House starts voting on impeachment in the morning, I might come on early to go with that. I think I will. So, and just stream while it's happening, if that's cool with you guys. I'm excited about that concept. So I want to watch it, and I want to watch it with my friends. And you are them. Hello. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great night. Again, don't let anybody scare the shit out of you, okay? This flailing hypocrite is not going to start a war or burn the whole country down or foment a rebellion. He doesn't have the leadership skills to actually pull it off. And any of his nutcases that would do it for him are the same as any other loser that would, it's a school shooter looking for a reason to do something. It's not based on, oh my God, the Trump influence. Like, stop. Everyone stop pretending that Trump actually has any capability or any meaningful impact on the country. It's just a joke. Seriously. So, he's gone. Just like I said, just like I've always said. So don't sweat it. Keep a smile on. We'll get through this, and then we'll deal with reality. We still got to get people vaccinated. We got to get people take care of themselves. So take your vitamin D and your zinc, and make sure that, you've got, if you're older, if you're over 50, I recommend, the baby aspirin idea for a little while, because because COVID's a blood disease. And just practice physical distancing, wash your common surfaces, wash your hands, keep some Purell around, wear a mask, and get through this so that this summer will kick ass. Oh my God, I'm so excited about this summer, you guys. We just got to get through this. Thanks. The Phil Silvers Award. I'm very impressed. Thanks for that. Yeah. And now would be a good time to take a break. This is not house common sense. This is quite uncommon. I'm aware of this. Anyways, I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great night. Take care, everybody. Man, I've been talking all day. Holy smokes. Whew. My throat's hot. Okay. Talk to you later. Bye. See you later. Bye.